Attention readers and leaders, world-renowned author Jordan Wells has teamed up with Hip Hop News Uncensored for a special offer just for you. That's right. I want everybody listening under the sound of my voice to click on the link at the top line of the description box and make sure you go grab yourself one of his many books right now. I'm guaranteeing you this book, any one of these books, will change your life and the way that you see things. The link is at the top of the description box. Ready, set, go. Interested in promoting your brand, business, or talent on Hip Hop News Uncensored? Hit me up right now at advertise@hiphopun.com.
At the studio, and like I said, with Corrupt, I was always connected. And then with Corrupt Success, it made it easier for me to be connected. You know, I was right there walking him through when he left Death Row and went to Entre. I was right there walking him through when he came back to Death Row from Entre. So I was always in music.
Okay. No doubt. Now let's move up a little bit. At what point did you meet Nipsey? I heard you telling a story about, that you pretty much, he lived with you at one point. You funded his career early on. Could you talk about meeting Nipsey Hussle?
Yep. Yeah, I met Nip 2007, 2006, 2007. It was shortly after I came home. And if y'all remember, Corrupt left Death Row and went back to do the Dog Pound. When Corrupt left Death Row and go back to do the Dog Pound, that's when I started looking for. I left and started looking for another artist. That's when I started looking for Nipsey. My nephew Shortstop told me to go find Nipsey because they had been trying to get on. I'm in front of your place, dog.
How special was he early? Like looking at
Nip. I'm in front of your place.
My fault.
Yeah.
Nah, looking at a young Nip and looking at his development, how early did you know he was something real, something special?
You said it again?
I said, once you met Nip and you started seeing him in the studio, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I said, okay, cool. Once you met Nip and you got Nip in the studio and you started feeling his vibe and understanding what he could do musically, how early on was it till you realized he was something special?
Shit, I realized he was something special after I wouldn't have put no time into him if I didn't feel like he was special.
Right.
And at that time, you got to put your money in it. Like if you find an artist or somebody that you're dealing with, you got to put your money in that person to and your money, your time to make sure that it's gonna work. Because you got to remember when I first started dealing with Nip, his brother was on his way to prison.
Mm-hmm.
So we was dealing this, and we was trying to get the thing done. His brother was on his way to prison. They was losing the property that Nip was at, and so Nip ended up staying in my condo in Hawthorne, and so I had a condo in Hawthorne. Then I had another spot on 103rd. So we had got the studio equipment, put it in Hawthorne. Little bro was staying there, and we started moving. And it wasn't until we actually signed the deal with Sony that he got his own place in the Palazzo. So once he got it, he talks about it. He talks about it all the time.
Right.
We talked about it before he actually, what happened. But yeah, so he stayed with us. But it was like he already had the song "Bullets Ain't Got No Names."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, "Bullets Ain't Got No Name." He had a couple of songs that was biting. But I felt like from being with Corrupt and being in the big studios and being around Dr. Dre and them produced products that I felt like he could get to that next level.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just needed somebody else to give him direction and show him how to really kind of like put the music together. Because, I want to get him with major producers. And you can see how young people are, like 17, 18, 19, getting into music. They grow. And as they get older and older, they become good at doing the music, hearing the beats, learning how to ride the beats and doing that stuff.
Right.
So because I was already seasoned in it and I already had the relationships, I just came with that more, you know what I mean? But he was the talent all the way through and through. You know what I mean? He was such a talent, bro. You could see it.
Right.
Now, is it true that you were responsible for kind of because when you first got with him, obviously he was a lot of gangster rap. Then at a point he transitioned to more of a conscious talking about like money and making money. Did you influence him to do that as well?
Well, I was already doing it. You got to understand that when I came home, I've always been black conscious. Let me say that. I've always pushed that. When I came home, I was already, we're not doing no color lines. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want music that was disrespecting people. I went through all of our videos. I went through all of the songs, and I made sure that we did not disrespect other sets. And I pushed the line. I pushed the line on that. Not only just him, but on my whole neighborhood. That for us to be great and for this area to be recognized for greatness, we have to be able to show other people respect. And then we're going to manage and demand our respect along the way. I was already buying property. Like I said, he was staying in one of my properties. So I was showing him that. He had already experienced them losing a piece of property, which they were buying on 85th. So he already knew what it meant to lose or what foreclosure was. So I was teaching him about that. And because he was going through it, and so he knew that, so he wanted to learn. So by him going through things, he wanted to learn the right way to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so it was right at that time that I came in, and he was young, so he was talking young. You know what I mean? And I was the old guy who was more in the unity, more in the black conscious. I had already had developing option. Was doing gang intervention with the city already. So that was my mentality.
Right. Now, how did it make you feel when rumors started circling around the internet that you may have had something to do with his death a couple of years ago? I know you said that your family took it real bad, but how did it make you feel?
Yeah, it was hard on my family more than anything. Let me tell you what's crazy. I think 2 days after he was killed, Suge called me. And Suge said, "Get ready." And I'm like, "Get ready for what?" And he was like, "Because they're going to blame you." And I'm like, man, they got the dude who did it. Like, why the fuck would they blame me? Because it just didn't make sense to me.
Right.
And you got to remember, I was gone when they blamed Suge for Pac, and they blamed Diddy for Big, and they blamed I was gone, so I don't know all this. I'm gone. You know what I mean? And it was crazy how Suge said that. And right after Suge said that, I started seeing little shit on the internet. And then you start seeing people building their platforms off of saying this shit. You know what I mean? Then you have people cutting up my words, adding little things, and then it just pitfalls from there. You know what I mean? And it goes from there. But then being who I am, like, bro, I'm a street nigga. I don't know how to, you know what I mean? So that kind of works against you. Because I'm not gonna go, address all this bullshit and say all the kind of shit, because I'm the kind of person who would let me see it head on. You know what I mean? And this shit was new to me. I had never even had an experience. I wouldn't even know how to tell nobody to deal with it today, because it's so foolish when you got all the evidence. Like, what is there for me to really say? Like, that's like you telling you and your partner, somebody saying you killed that man sitting next to you.
Yeah.
And they got the man in jail for it. And they know the conversation they had before that. And they know that they had problems before that. But, like, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you want to feel like this shit is so ridiculous that why address it? But then it just keeps going. Then you got one person, they seen that they got 2,000 hits for saying Big U did something to Nipsey. Then you get another person, they seen they got 15,000 hits. So now they sitting in their rooms behind their computers, and they coming up with the most grandest stories they can come up with.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? You can't.
Yeah.
And then it gets even worse than that, because even the people who know the truth, they don't want to deal with you because they scared of what the public outcry might be. You know what I mean? Like, damn, man, we know you ain't had nothing to do with it, but you still don't want to be in a room with the person that's being accused of it. Like, come on, man. This man got a letter from the president. Do you think anybody who had anything to do with that would be free?
Right. That's a fact.
He got a letter from Obama. That nigga got 4,000 FBI, CIA, DEAs, and whoever. Ain't nobody had anything to do with that man's demise gonna be free. He got a letter from the president. Who we know got a letter from the president?
Nobody I know.
Maybe Trump gave one to Lil Wayne. We don't know.
Now with that being said,
right.
now with that being said, are you cool with his family?
Hold on 1 second, man.
All right.
Hold on 1 second.
All right, go ahead, take your time. I'm good. Tune into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast.
Charles, where you at, man?
In the building.
Indeed. Go ahead and hit that like button, that 5-star rating, wherever you're watching or listening right now. Definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all.
So what, y'all gone already? I thought you just said you was turned around, nephew.